So my girlfriend invited me to watch this movie. She told me about it, gave me the premise. It sounded a little interesting. Love triangle story. I'm not a big tennis fan, but there's a lot of tennis related movies that I do like. Like King Richard. That one was really good. Battle of the Sexes was really good too. And Borg versus Monroe. So I figured this one might be just as good as those movies. And even if it's not, at least they sell beer at the theaters now. So maybe I could have a few laughs with my girl and sip a few beers. But no amount of beer in the world could have saved me from this movie. This movie makes The Room look like an Oscar contender. I've seen movies on Tubi that are 10 times better than this movie right here. This movie almost looks intentionally bad, like it wanted to go viral. It wanted to get people talking about it. While we and 6 other people in the theater watching it, I had to know who directed it. Took my phone out, it didn't matter, nobody was around us. Took the phone out, looked him up, checked out his work, and then it made a little more sense. This guy's from Europe, he's Italian. Some countries, India, Nigeria, China, but especially China, they have their own style. And it works in their country, it works in their language. But when you try to translate that kind of style into an American movie for an American audience, it doesn't work. Whoever said they really like this movie is just being pretentious because it has this foreign style to it. So I'm going to start with the positives, then I'm going to go on to the negatives. A positive about this movie is when they're playing tennis and you hear the sound of the ball being hit by the racket. They really amplify that sound. You can really hear it in a good theater. And they have this thing where the ball flies towards the camera and it kind of messes with you a little like, whoa, like that worked. That really worked. And that is the only positive it has. The negatives, oh my God. You know what? It has so many negatives that I'm going to leave out a few. I told my girl while I was watching the movie, I should have took notes. I think the worst thing about this film is that it uses music at the wrong time, at the wrong volume, and the wrong genre. There's times where it kind of works, but usually no. It uses a lot of techno. Matrix used techno, and it worked really good. A lot of movies use techno. They just know how, when, and how loud. And there's just one scene where they're by the beach, and they're having this conversation, and there's loud pianos playing in the background. It's, even Chris Stuckman, this guy doesn't like saying anything bad about movies anymore. Even he pointed that out. And he said that it was a little distracting. It was more than distracting. It made no sense. It was annoying because you're trying to hear the dialogue, but the music is just as loud as the dialogue, sometimes even louder. The editing, my God, I don't think they had a professional editor. It's just they got the janitor from down the hall and said, hey man, can you do this for us while we go take lunch? It couldn't have been a professional editor. No way. I whispered it to my girl while we were watching the movie. I said, the acting is so stiff. And someone else who gave a review on Rotten Tomatoes put it better. He said the dialogue looked like it was written by AI. It was flat, stiff. It didn't have any real personality. The characters or the actors didn't have any real personality. And it's not their fault. I don't think it is. More than likely the director or the writing, but Zendaya was really good in Doom Part 2. I gave that one a 10 out of 10, including the acting. I don't know what happened here. I don't know why some actor just can't be like, hey, you know what, director, I don't like the way this sounds. Can I improvise a little bit? I don't know if it's an insult to the director or the writer, so a lot of actors don't do that, but if your career is at stake, man, I would. I've seen him do it. I think she's big enough to like have a little input. How the hell does this movie have a 97% Rotten Tomato? I think 78% audience score. I don't get it. There's a scene that someone else brought up And it really does look like it was filmed in the 60s, maybe even 70s. Where back then it might have worked, but right now it looks way too soap opera-ish. It looked just too fake. There's like this big, windy. It's not even a storm. It's just a lot of wind. Papers flying everywhere, leaves and all kind of trash. They're arguing. They park. They get out. That's one other thing I got to mention. This guy loves slow motion. I like slow motion when it's done right at the right time and for the right amount of time. He does it at the wrong time and for way too long. He just stays there, lingering with a slow shot. Yeah, so these characters are arguing outside of their car. She runs back to him, spits in his face, and then they start making out in the middle of a storm, tornado. I don't know what it was. This movie also has a lot of sexual scenes. I've said it before, but they're not really necessary. You could have some innuendo. You could give the audience some kind of clue as to what happened. They'll fill in the gap. You don't got to show it. You're trying to watch it with your family or whatever. It gets awkward, man. I don't think anybody likes that except for like pervs or something. If you want to watch some porn, they got plenty of websites. I don't think it has to be in a movie. And last but not least, we got the ending, the final match. Everything that I criticize this movie about all comes together at the very end. All the bad editing, acting, score, and the ending was terrible. It was so over the top, cartoonish, soap opera-ish. So, from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie here a solid -2. That is the lowest score I can give to any movie. I've only done that a few times. Actually, I've done that a lot of times, but I give more praise than not. Would I recommend it to someone? No. I'll tell them the opposite. Don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Dodge it. Run from it. Don't even look at the trailer. Nothing. Not even a picture. And of course, could I watch it again?
Hell no!
No way. Can't do it. Catch you on the next one.